Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to React Indie Monogatari. Tonight we are on the first episode of what I understand to be called Season 2, which is very exciting. The official title is Nekomonogatari Shiro for this episode that we're specifically watching. And I think I watched the first 2 seconds of the episode just to make sure my copy of it worked, and it said something about it being Hanekawa-esque. We already knew it's a Tsubasa tiger thing, right, from the end of last episode. But I think it's actually from her perspective, right? I don't know. I think in the first 3 seconds it says something about it as Hanekawa. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But first, there is a absolute metric ton of things that I want to talk about. To the point that I was okay. It's been a week since I've watched the show, right? And normally it's been 10 days exactly, actually. I can see it right here on the last video. Oh yeah, comments, boom. 10 days, right? Wait. Right here. 10 days ago, right? It's been 10 days. Normally that's not that big of a deal, I feel like. It's I have a memory. Memory lasts longer than a few days at a time. We're good. I'm not a goldfish. But with a show like this, where there's so many thematic elements and crazy little mini things that actually end up mattering, and Araragi literally is he's telling the story, right? And he's literally making it difficult to understand on purpose, which is kind of cool. And that's an entire thing that I'll try to bring up in a second, but it's the act of concealing is actually revealing something. Oh, bars, Yeah. But yeah, so that entire thing plus the 10-day thing made me I opened up the episode and it literally took me an hour or two of just rewatching and reading comments and just thinking to get back in the mindset. So hopefully we're back in the mindset. And I can and reply to some of these comments and then reply to some of just last season as a whole, honestly. So I'll just go to the top to the bottom. I'm probably gonna cut out a lot of big pauses here, so that'll be exciting for me in the editing room. Okay, so this is a cool bit, a cool part here. So the focus on Araragi's sympathy for Hanekawa, so this quote here, this displays how compatible Hanekawa and the Metal Cat are, since they both seek out sympathy from others while hiding their true nature. That little blurb, combined with this later comment of, Araragi's using Hanekawa and the Metal Cat as stand-ins for himself and Shinobu, that totally blings in my brain for me. And they kind of showed that in, I think, episode 3. I'll try to find it when I scroll through. Where he was thinking about the Metal Cat and for a split second, kiss shot appeared in his brain, right? Because what is Araragi's example of somebody seeking out sympathy while hiding their true nature? I mean, this is literally what happened with the vampire, right? We have kiss shot laying there, chicken nugget mode, who is desperate for sympathy because she's desperate to live when she's been faced with her impending death, despite her desire to die. In that moment, the primal lizard brain says, "I want to live," and that makes her, desire sympathy from Araragi while hiding her true nature as a vampire, kind of thing, right? Or what the true, not true nature as a vampire because he was aware she was a vampire, but true nature as a vampire to the degree of what a vampire actually is, right? Because it took all of Kizu was Araragi kind of, the conclusion of Kizu was him kind of coming to terms with the oddity and monster side of all of the vampire stuff, right? But yeah, so that lines up really well for me, and I really like that. They both seek out sympathy from others while hiding their true nature. I mean, that's just crazy, man. But yeah, and then this connection is how they became a new oddity, Black Hanekawa. And yes, season 2, baby, kind of hype, and also kind of crazy, because I've been, how long have we been watching Monogatari for? I'm some of my other videos are recommended on the side. I mean, the post Nisei video was 3 weeks ago, so probably a couple months. So it's crazy to think that we're only now hitting the second season now. Okay, yeah. This episode is one of my favorite episodes in the entire series, and it's a big part of why I like this arc more than people usually do, it seems. Yeah, honestly, episode 4 of Nekomonogatari Kuro was really good. Episodes 1 through 3 felt kind of repeaty, but the additions were kind of important to set up episode 4. But yeah, just on its own, episode 4, I totally agree, was actually very good. The whole Araragi using himself as the sword sheath to trick her into cutting into make the cat pop out. Her like the kind of identity thing with the cat going on. Like there's just so much stuff going on there. So yeah, totally get that. I thought this was a really good line as well. So I'm just gonna read it. This series just nails this kind of bittersweet ending, like with Kizu, where at the end things certainly aren't ideal, but you can feel the characters grow. Wait, this is not at all what I meant. It's this line. I read the wrong line. Let me try again. Just like Oshino said, it's all about circumstances, about flawed characters sorting themselves out the best way they can, not necessarily in the best way possible at all. I think that's really, like, true to the story, right? They're doing the best to sort themselves out, but that's not necessarily the best case kind of scenario. It's just like kind of a playing the hand you're dealt thing. I don't know. I thought this was flawed characters sorting themselves out the best way they can, not necessarily in the best way possible. Yeah, I just love that. I just love that so much. This next part's good as well, but this is what I was going for. In case you missed it, Araragi was projecting during his In Reality We Never Change speech. Honestly, he was projecting during he was projecting during that entire thing 1,000 million %. I'll try to dig into that when I actually scroll through so I can bounce off his wording. Realization, they told the story as a stand-in for himself and Shinobu. That's something that, like, I feel like I really gotta chew on. Because, I mean, yeah, like, there are comparisons there that, like, Hanekawa and the cat have merged to the point that, like, it's kind of hard to say, you know, she still has her human consciousness in the same way that, like, when he was a vampire, or, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you already know what I mean. I don't even want to, I like this, and I'll try to remember this when we scroll through, because I don't got anything to say right off the bat right now. Okay, Pog. Oh, this is cool. So the one that followed the moral directive without thinking like a machine when he shaved Shinobu was in his mind was him. He was the one that followed the moral directive without thinking. It's crazy because I feel like... So this... Okay, wait. I have to think. So Nekomonogatari Kuro takes place after vampirism, but before Bake. After Kizu, but before Bake. I'm really going to have to write all this stuff down. I don't have it written down right now. Because I'm kind of thinking, like, when he saved Shinobu, when he saved Kisha, right? It, like, I feel like he has grown out of, or at least is attempting to grow out of, the self-sacrificial nature of himself, right? Where he just, like, dies for someone. And that's kind of what the end of this last arc was all about, right? Because he fell out of love with Hanekawa despite never loving her, and he was wanting and willing to die for her sake. So he's like he's falling out of love, he's pulling himself away from his martyristic desire to die for her. Not even for her sake even, but honestly to satisfy his own selfish need of dying for her. You know, it's like this kind of twisted thing. So it's crazy to me. Like maybe it's like a kind of like a there's one layer deeper than I might think, where it's like he in this arc he thought he was following the moral directive when he saved Shinobu, but looking back now that he is maybe trying to pull away from those martyristic things, maybe his idea of what the moral directive is being called into question by himself. Right? And so perhaps, like, if we asked current Araragi, like the Araragi that's telling us this story, maybe he would say that, like, his moral directive when he saved Shinobu was flawed. And self-sacrificial in the same way that it was when he saved Hanekawa at the end of the last arc. Maybe. But, yeah, the way that he the one who followed the moral directive without thinking like a machine when he saved Shinobu was him. Like, he definitely is... Like, if we're using Shinobu and Araragi as, like, the mirror to Hanekawa and the Metal Cat, then, yeah, like, he and Hanekawa are on one while the Metal Cat and Shinobu are on the other. So he would take the mantle of the one following the moral directive from Hanekawa when you, like, make the analogy. But like actually through Kizu and through like what I just said, where like I'm not sure if he would actually like think that's what he's doing. Plus, when actually in Kizu, when he saved Kiss Shot at the time, it was pretty far from without thinking, right? Like he goes down and then like freaks out and runs away and then comes back. And so he has that process where he actually has to think through it. It's not like he just walked into it and formulaically was like down for it immediately, right? Like I feel like he had that push and pull, which would have distanced himself a little bit from that analogy. However, still I would agree on this stand-in, especially with what I said a minute ago, right? Where both Hanekawa and the Metal Cat and kind of Kiss Shot, you were using sympathy while hiding their true nature. And there's also like been a couple, like Shinobu's been in this arc. Like, why was Shinobu in this arc? Well, she was in the arc because she had to be, because she's the one that actually sucked the energy, drained the cat, right? But there are like certain glimpses of her where like the screen will flash and she'll be on it, right? That in context I feel like draw a visual parallel to Hanekawa and the Metal Cat. Okay, yes. Continuing. Oh, I need a sip of my Dr. Pepper. That's what this show is telling me right now. Oh yeah, this next line literally caused me to like have a mental break when I was preparing to like record. I literally scrolled through like the entire last season to try to find this. So this bit here. When he finds the white cat where they buried it and realizes it was really just a normal cat, it finally clicks that Oshino was lying to him the entire time because Oshino couldn't bring himself to confront Araragi with the truth. When I first read this, I thought that honestly the comment was smoking crack. Because how does that make any sense? However, there is like a 2-second thing at the end of the 4th episode where he checks the cat and the cat's corpse is there, and it's there. And it's like 2 seconds, no words are said by him, it just happens, and then it cuts to the next scene. So, yeah, he does do that, and it is just a cat. But in that case, like, I'm confused, because the metal cat itself, or I guess you could maybe say, I guess it was maybe Hanekawa speaking, because in episode 3, Hanekawa / metal cat, or let's just say Black Hanekawa, was talking about, like, the metal cat, I use sympathy to lure people in with emotions, blah, 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 bury me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like the metal cat was confirming all those things. However, that could have been Hanekawa saying all those things because at the point of the 3rd episode, Hanekawa was conscious and aware because that was after she drained her parents, you know? So she was completely there for that. So she could have been putting like a spin on it or something to make me confused even more. Because, like, it can't just be a normal cat because the metal cat had to come from somewhere, right? So maybe it was, like, the case that, like, the metal cat, like, because she buried that cat, and that cat is what gave her the metal cat, right? But then her specific interaction with the metal cat after she drained her parents, or after it drained her parents, where she, like, wanted to keep it going, that's what caused Black Hanekawa to be born. So maybe, like, I don't know, it doesn't quite lock in for me, but I think it is what's happening. Because, like, where did it come from if not the white cat? Or is it maybe saying that, like, since we see its corpse, we see that the metal cat isn't part of the equation anymore, hence the cat's corpse being, like, normal now? Because the metal cat's gone, it's Black Hanekawa that's taken its place. I kind of feel like that's the best I can do at this moment. I don't know, maybe I'm missing some, like, random 3-second scene or something that just changes everything. Because this show is just wild with it. Truly a show for rewatching. I love this show. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. And then on the fact of Oshino lying to him, Araragi's distaste for authority and parental figures, his warped perspective of them, as a source of moral directives, blah, 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 are easy to miss. Specifically, the most important thing, like, on that, because you like, it mentions parental figures, right? The comment mentions parental figures. We don't ever meet his parental figures, which is weird considering all that's going on. And kind of, like, because at the start of this comment, right, Araragi was hardcore projecting during his reality will never change speech. I rewatched that speech, and a lot of it was, like, about her family. And I'll pull it up, I'll try to bounce it off there. But it was, like, about her family kind of being cold and distant and sucking in a lot of ways. So, like, that, plus, I mean, Mayoi snail arc, right, with the whole him wanting to get away from his family. Plus, we don't actually know his parents at all, so he's never, like, deemed it necessary to tell us about his parents in the story. All those things together makes me think that he was projecting even his own family troubles onto Hanekawa through, like, the way that he was describing her family troubles. So yeah, I think that all ties together. However, it's a little hard to say still because everything he was saying makes sense in context purely within Hanekawa's story. So, like, how much of it is him describing it versus him projecting it onto her? I would say there's a very, very real chance that he was projecting his own family issues onto her, but also her family issues are really, really bad. So, yeah. Non-Araragi arc. I watched, like, 3 seconds, and, yeah, I think it's a Hanekawa arc. The way Araragi tells his story, every character reflects back on him, so in a way, Araragi is every character. No, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with this. I wanted to clear this up a little bit, so I'll just read it. While I understand why Araragi doesn't top your list at this point, it's a little concerning since it discourages you from focusing on him in the future, which will make things less interesting and continue to keep Araragi less interesting to you. Oh, you'll miss things plus Araragi less interesting to you. Exploration of his mind through his own lens, and the way it's done is some of the most fascinating writing I've ever seen, but due to the nature of his self-image, it's easy to stop paying attention to him, but that's what he wants, to get his story off the chest without the audience noticing. Yeah, so, like, specifically, I absolutely agree and love the way that the story is written, and it is absolutely fascinating. I think that's totally with you there. The whole, like, meta layer, why is he telling us about these things? Why is he telling us about these things at certain times? You know, why is he including certain characters and not including certain characters? Right? Like, all these kinds of things. That's a really interesting and unique way I've never seen done before for, like, writing a story. So I separate that from my characterization of Araragi. I see that as two separate things. So I really love all that exploration element. The actual Araragi character, not in a way that, like, Araragi as every character. I mean, it is a blurred line a bit. I would hold that there is distinction between, you know, like, Shinobu and Araragi. Like, I wouldn't push it like this idea, like, super hard, but in a way, yeah, I totally see that. But, like, my idea of Araragi, I'd put him in, like, an A tier, you know? Like, he's a solid protagonist. Like, I appreciate what he does. He has a lot of his different moods, all that kind of stuff that kind of, like, keep the story kind of, you know, interesting and fleshed out, or, like, interesting and changing and all that kind of crap. But it's like some of the side characters I appreciate, like, yeah, there's, like, the separation there, right? Where, like, I feel like if we did these really cool ways to write the story that is, like, done through its own lens, unreliable narrator, all blah, 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 on, like, a different character, I might enjoy it even more. Like, if instead of having all of the story told through Araragi, what if we told it through Shinobu, right? That could be, like, I feel like that could be even more interesting to me. But that is, like, a massive hypothetical that has absolutely no grounding, but it's kind of just saying that, like, Araragi as the main figure, I like, but is not, like, an SS triple plus for me. The actual writing of how his character is engaged is really where it comes into, like, mwah, delicioso, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh yeah, and then look out for Araragi parent information. Yeah, honestly, if they ever say anything about Araragi's parents, that's obviously a huge deal, especially if we're in an arc where it's not Araragi narrating it, because, like, Araragi doesn't tell us anything about his parents, so getting any information will be massive, right? Tsubasa Tiger, please, no more. And this is in reference to, I like pulled up this comment here, right? The justice comment. So that's the context for this. The biggest bing here that I'm here for is Araragi's conviction and action are consistent, thus getting self-satisfaction and being real, but do not necessarily mean justice. That's literally the final nail, like, that's the final thing I needed to, like, I think really sew it all together for me. Like, when I read that, it all went, you know, the cosmos opened before me. Because, yeah, that's totally the case. He was, when he Like, I think I was talking about when he sacrificed himself for Kiss Shot, right? I think that was the example I was using. He was self. Oh, no. It was scratch that. It was when he self-sacrificed for Hanekawa. I think was my example. He was his conviction to sacrifice himself for Hanekawa and his action of sacrificing himself for Hanekawa was consistent, thus meaning himself self-satisfied, and he was real in that moment. But that's not necessarily justice. Like, you would need your conviction, you would need a conviction for justice and then an acting upon justice to have real justice. So I was kind of mixing the terms a bit when they're definitely separate. So, gotcha. Bring. The feeling that he wants to die for Hanekawa is real. True. And then his action on that makes it consistent self-satisfaction. Bang. And then his saying Tsukihi, I'm here for this. I'll just say the last line here. It's not about whether she's a fake human sister or not. Araragi sees Tsukihi as a real family member, a real sister. So, yeah, I think that's a really good little summary of that. So to answer your question, was he doing an act of justice? In my opinion, certainly not. I would agree. He wasn't thinking about doing justice, so there was no conviction there about justice. Exactly. I'm here for that. It's self-satisfaction, but in a bad, selfish way. You could even say he was evil. He was willing to let Hanekawa literally kill a man and become a criminal. How awful it was. True. And not only just kill a man, but, like, kill a friend, and then that's just, like, she wouldn't want that to happen either. So, like, because, like, could you imagine if she actually just killed him and then he died? Like, that would hold over her head forever, would it not? I feel like that's obvious to him and to, like, the audience. So he was willing to die for her in a way that would hurt her, because him wanting to die for her didn't even have to do with her well-being. That's crazy, man. That's so good, because you would think, like, being a martyr for someone, like, is purely for their benefit. Like, that's why you would die for someone. But he wants to die for her in a way that's self-satisfying, in a way that would hurt her. He wants to die for her in a way that would hurt her. Whoa. I love it. Let me pull out my piece of paper. This was my study sheet. Hanekawa and empathy. They do justice because they wanted to do it. Araragi didn't want to do justice. That's what we just talked about. Oh yeah, real quick. This bit, Oshino lying to him. Oshino said a quote at some point that was something close to, it's possible that the class representative was never possessed by a cat in the first place. He says that, like, after he gets beat up by her, I think. It's at 1319 in one of the episodes. So that could have been, like, foreshadowing for he's aware that she was never possessed, hence the cat was a normal cat, but he doesn't want to actually bring the truth up to Araragi, and therefore only kind of posits it as a hypothetical and then leaves it at that, because he doesn't want to actually, like, breach the, like, fully outline the truth to him. Which, honestly, in that case, like, what are the origins? Was there even ever a metal cat? Because if there truly was never a metal cat and the cat was always a normal cat, oh, you know what's crazy? Wait, I think that might be kind of something, because she knows all these things about oddities, right? That's why she was able to fight off Oshino so well. She had the knowledge, so she probably had the knowledge on what a metal cat was, and then when she buried the cat, knew like self-constructed a metal cat onto herself, right? She wasn't possessed by, like, some sort of metal cat that was wandering. She just buried a cat, knew of the myth of the metal cat, and then from herself, a metal cat was born, which ended up becoming Black Hanekawa as it developed. Is that kind of what we're doing? I kind of like that. Woo! I'm telling you, man, this show. You already know this show's fire. That's the only reason you would be this deep into the intro segment. You would have to, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, was there one more thing here? It's literally I have written down the quote from this comment, so I'll just read this comment. Some of this comment. Hanekari buried the cat because it's the right thing to do and not because she felt sympathy for the cat at all. But don't get twisted, it's not because she lacked empathy, nor she's doing it for her selfish desire, which would leave her as a fake. That would be Araragi already. So yeah, one thing I was struggling with quite a lot is that she's doing her moral prerogative, or the reason she, hopefully I just used that word correctly. I'm not that smart. The moral reasons or the reason she's doing moral actions is to be a normal girl. So I've kind of worried about a disconnect between her having empathy and like actually wanting to help people and actually having a sense of morality versus her just purely doing it to further her facade of being a real girl or being a normal girl, right? Because if she's truly only doing it to be a normal girl and like that's just like a mask she's put on, then she's like deep down she's not a good person and she's not moral because she's doing it for ulterior motives to look normal, right? I mean you would have to go along with the idea that like your intent has to be good to do good, but just play along, right? I'm not trying to spin off into a 30-minute discussion on good and evil because yikes. Unless the show wants to give me something to work with. If the show gives me something, I'll try to give, but like we don't gotta spin off into the wilds, into the weeds, on our own. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think her emotions won't come into play at all. She can carry out her morals like a machine. So yeah, like her morals. So we are stating that it's her morals, but it's like I like usually found morals in emotions a lot of the time, right? Or at least a lot of people do. I feel like you do good because you feel good by doing good, and that's how you know it's good, as like a thing. And that's not like a complete like broad brush stroke, but that's kind of something I've heard before. So it's interesting to me that that's such a disconnect between her morals and her emotions. That they're completely separate, that she doesn't have an emotional stake in her morals. Because without emotions, then like I feel like the morals get scooped empty. However, like I'm kind of confronted with the idea that maybe they don't have to be interconnected, and you can be morally good and do your morals without any emotional stake. Like that's kind of sick. It kind of reminds me of Dexter. Random. I've only watched like 3 seasons of that, maybe, like way back years ago. But random connection, but like the idea of like not having intent in your actions and doing them as a formula to like fit into society or whatever, like that still being morally good. I don't know, man. It's crazy stuff. It's her trait that makes her do such actions like burying a cat in the road that even a normal girl, her sole desire to be as wouldn't even act on. She's anything but a hypocrite, and that's what makes her amazing to Araragi. Her actions far surpass a fake. Let me just read this again. Okay. Conviction and action are consistent. She wants to be a normal girl, and to be a girl, you must do these moral formula, and her action is perfectly consistent in doing that, of which she is convicted. So yeah, she's real. And she's doing moral things, so she's morally real. She's morally good, or able to carry out her morals in a real way. Okay, I like that. I'm good on that. A quote from comments a while ago. Conversely, those who truly want to do justice do not respond to the needs of others as a reason for their actions. They just do justice because they wanted to do it. The respond to the needs of others is calling to Karen, right? That was the idea of her fake justice, if I recall correctly. Their convictions are aligned with their actions, and therefore they achieve self-satisfaction. They are real. In fact, Araragi probably came to this understanding from Hanekawa when she almost got killed by episode. It's not self-sacrifice, it's self-satisfaction. I just do what pleases me. Which, yeah. It's like, conviction actions. It makes me wonder, like, what are the, like, multitude of different ways that conviction and action would be disaligned, right? I mean, that's a crazy question. For, like, for Karen, it does, like, responding to the needs of others and being influenced by other people's, like, states. But it, like, I don't know, my brain is, like, I'm jumping to a weird extreme in my brain where it's, like, everything is your conviction, and so every action you do is from your conviction. And I think I've spiraled into this once or twice before. But But that entire idea is like kind of annoying, and I kind of hate it, but it's like the best idea. Whatever. Let's just trash that. I don't even want to deal with that right now, okay? I like this. This is the way the show's playing with it, so let's keep playing with it that way so we can get some juicy bits. You remembered. Good job. Cheers to that. Blah, blah, blah. Araragi will never be as genuine without ulterior motive like Hanekawa, where doing good things just comes to her naturally, never being biased in her emotions to do the right thing, unlike Araragi. Yeah, I mean... It's hard to use the word never, especially for me, because I haven't seen the rest of the show. But I think right now, I mean, there's that really big gap between the two of them, for sure. We're doing good things just come to her naturally. It's interesting, because it's like, come to her naturally. I mean, it comes to her because of her desire to be a normal girl from all of her traumatic backstory, parental history, right? Her family trauma. But yeah, just kind of clarifying a little bit, I guess. And yeah, ulterior motive is such a fun word to throw at Araragi as well, right? Because he'll literally be like, being like, oh, I get to touch Hanekawa's boobs. I'm gonna lick her wound. It's gonna be I'm such a perv. And so his actual motive is to heal her wound through like his saliva, right? And so he's putting forth like a fake ulterior motive, or like he's putting forth I'm being pervy, but he has the ulterior motive to actually help her. So he's being kind of fake. But it's interesting because the fakeness that he's using to, in a way that I think Hanekawa appreciates and actually makes her like happier and like helps her cope with the situation. You know, I think she appreciates that from Araragi in like a way. Like it's a way to kind of, you know, like it's funny to her, I think, if I'm recalling the first episode right. Or the second, I think. No, I think it was the first one. Where she like smiles at it or whatever when she realizes like, oh, you silly guy, like you can't help but show your ulterior motives or whatever she says. So like kind of reminds me of all the freaking what's the guy's name? So sorry. Not Kagenui. Frick, what's that guy's name? Oh, he's gonna kill me if I can't remember this right now. Kaiki? Is it Kaiki? Kaiki? I think it's Kaiki, right? I'm just gonna look it up. Kaiki. Yes, Kaiki. Okay, bet. Also, I'm gonna have to like. Okay, yeah. Kaiki. Okay, yeah, Kaiki. It reminds me of all the Kaiki discussion on whatchamacallit, on the value of a fake, because if we're seeing Araragi as somewhat fake in how he's interacting with Hanekawa, like with the wound, and we accept that his mode of interacting with that ulterior motive was to the benefit of Hanekawa through like making her feel better, then him being fake, him not being real, him having that discontinuity between his conviction and action was valuable and was like, I'll throw the word good out really loosely, was good really loosely, right? Which is what I feel like Kaiki was talking about with the whole, you know, the value of a fake. The fake that tries to be real is even more valuable than the real, the inherently real. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's good. Good stuff. Next part and onwards, cheers to that. This is funny. People watching chronologically be like, cool, now I can watch Bake. Imagine watching this before Bake. That would be so funny. There's some bars in here. Let me see if I can. I'm telling you, this is going to be a long intro. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just, okay. Oshino specifically Oshino states his warnings as his best friend and not as a specialist in order to emphasize how much Araragi wants to learn from this experience. That could also maybe tie into, like, he mentioned how he had failed as a balancer, plus, like, maybe, like, he might be lying to her, or lying to Araragi, because, you know, the white cat was, like, real, or was, like, normal. So maybe that also plays into why he said best friend. So he's, like, because he doesn't want to, or he's, like, he's changing what his position is to Araragi in order to enable the possibility to lie. So, like, as a specialist to Araragi, he's kind of under, like, an oath, maybe, to be, like, transparent and help with the situation. But because of the like extraneous circumstances, he drops that kind of way to approach Araragi and approaches Araragi as a best friend, because best friends can lie to each other for each other's benefit. Maybe that's kind of part of it as well. That could be an idea. I think Oshino already has an idea that sums often Araragi's feelings towards Hanekawa. I agree. Araragi recognizes these but refuses to accepting them. He sees Hanekawa as a saint. That's definitely what he's like getting over in this. Seeing her as like idealizing her. Totally, I agree with that. Maybe thinking it's his. Or wait. He's seeing Hanekawa as this kind of saint, and if something is wrong, then it is not her fault. Maybe thinking that's why he constantly says he wants to die for Hanekawa. Not sure about that one. Yeah, it could be like this kind of twisted thing of. I like that a lot. It's like this twisted thing of. The things that are wrong with Hanekawa aren't her fault, so I will be the martyr to take the blame of those things that are wrong with her, and then I'll die with that blame so that she can be a perfect. Something like that. A perfect. Pog. So yeah, I like that. Then he realizes that these feelings are kind of unhealthy. Kind of? Yeah. He could not consolidate his ideal image of Hanekawa and the things he's seen in Golden Week. That's why he says he fell out of love. Though he is not loved. Totally here for that. I like that a lot. Not sure if this is really true, but this is how I see it. What even is really true? Kind of a beauty in the eye of the beholder thing. If you see something beautiful in the art that like speaks to you, then it's true to you, right? And I'm fine with that. You can't just, but at the same time, you can't just look at Bakemonogatari and like make something up and then say it's true to you. There's a balance there, but I don't know. I don't know why I started talking about that. We go crazy. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. That is also why I think Araragi put some distance barrier when presented with Hanekawa in Bakemonogatari. I'm going to have to rewatch that hoe to like figure that, to see that. But he already kind of know Hanekawa loves him, as Ashina already pointed out to him. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Tsubasa Tiger's about to be Pog. Leave the poor girl alone. She's had enough oddities. I appreciate that. Watch order. I don't know where I'm going to put Hana, because book order puts it after Kabuki Monogatari, but the anime release order puts it like later. And I don't know, man. I mean, the difference is that like the anime intentionally put Hana later in the chain, right? So who even knows? But this is fun. However you choose to do it, I look forward to watching the rest of the series for the first time with you. That's like my favorite thing, by the way. That's one of my, the favorite, but that's one of my favorite things, like doing the whole reaction thing, is whenever people watch a show for the first time, like along with the ride. I just think that's so fun. Because most of the time, it's like, because like, I've watched reactions in the past, right? It's like I only watch reactions for shows that I actually have already seen, so I can like experience those really good moments again. So just whenever people like actually watch a new show, like, or continue a show that they had dropped, or watch a new show or whatever, like with me, I think that's just fun. I just think that's cool, man. Can't wait for second season. One of the best reactions I've seen. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh man, I almost feel like I need to take a break. Let's pull up the episode. Oh no. Okay. I'm going to do a full scroll through of everything. So, 13, 19 of one of these. Tsukihi, what's good with you? Stop trying to... Just stop being sexualized. Karen, blah, blah, blah. Let me look at how Hanekawa responded to Araragi being fake with the whole ulterior motive of licking her face. So this is the end of episode 1. She smiles. She kind of likes it after getting healed. Oh, he pricked his finger and applied a little bit of blood. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I paused the anime to clear my throat. That did not make sense. See, look, she's doing the little, like, 1 foot up. She's saying thank you. I think, yeah, well, she appreciates getting healed. I think she appreciates the specific way that Araragi heals, though, right? Oh, she's so hard to read, but yeah. This is horribly sad. Stop making me depressed. No, okay, wait, let me look at when he flips her skirt. What does she think of that? She slaps him. He sees the dark underbelly of what's going on with her character. The dark panties. You're kind. Yeah, like, I think she sees it in a way of, like, it makes her feel better. You know, that, like, he's being, like, the kind of, the way he's interacting like, his weird roundabout way of interacting with the world is something that she likes. I think that I can hold that. Okay. Which was what we were talking about earlier. During the comments brawl. Okay. Powerpuff Girl Shinobu. Shinobu acting like a feral animal to get donuts. You love to see it. Now, I think, is this the episode at 1319? Let me real quick go to 1319. No, I think it's next episode. Let me look at 1319. This is important. Right here. The cat is in its default form. Assimilation, merging, invincible, suck the blood. It's crazy, right? Because, like, while he's talking about the invincibility of the cat, it cuts to Shinobu drinking Araragi's blood, right? And obviously there were, like, multitudes of comparisons drawn between the energy draining of Shinobu as a vampire and the energy draining of the metal cat itself. It's just so much. Yeah, so many comparisons. Okay, this is the line from Oshino. It's possible we'll find out at the end that the class rep was never possessed by a cat to begin with. He already has checked the burial site of the cat, right? That happened at episode 2. So he knows already that this is not the case. Or that this exact thing is the case. That she wasn't possessed by the cat because the cat is there in the ground. He verified that for himself. Which gives us reason as to why he verified the cat's burial as opposed to helping out with Hanekawa in the moment. Because that was kind of a question we brought up a little bit, right? So, yeah. He verified the cat because of how weird the Black Hanekawa situation already was. He was probably getting some weird juju from it. Verifies the cat, figures out that, like, okay, this is not a metal cat situation. This is, like, maybe inspired by a metal cat situation or something, but it's not a metal cat situation. But he doesn't want to tell Araragi this because that would require that would place more responsibility on... Man, what is in my throat? Dr. Pepper, please, for the love of everything that is holy, save me. Save me. Okay, sorry. Oh my goodness, gravy god. Yes. Black Hanekawa. If there was no metal cat, as at this point he is aware, then Hanekawa loses the excuse of being possessed, which puts more blame on her, which is something that that Oshino didn't want to tell Araragi, because Araragi, of course, is in this, like, love-obsessive, a die-for-you state for Hanekawa. Period. Underline, italicized, bold. We like it, we like it. Okay, hopefully it makes some semblance of sense. Some semblance of sanity. Okay. It's just automatic at this point. Some of the things I say, okay, it's okay. Everything's okay. Yeah, and it's like, the metal cat itself, it possesses people that approach it out of sympathy. But Hanekawa didn't approach it out of sympathy, so it couldn't even have possessed her in the first place, right? Because I was kind of originally saying that, like, oh, she approached it not out of sympathy, which is what led to Black Hanekawa being formed. But I think what I would actually say is she approached it not out of sympathy, and as such, she wasn't possessed by a metal cat. It wasn't even a metal cat in the first place. But the action of burying this cat, she's aware that that's how the metal cat comes into being, because we know she's well learned on oddity stuff because of her ability to fight Oshino. Therefore, the metal cat that we see from her, the metal cat, in quotes, that we see from her, is actually um, from herself and what would come to be Black Hanekawa. Bam. That's where I'm at. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Okay, and then we get the other side of Monogatari where I skip 2 frames forward and she's presenting her entire booty to me. This show. There was something here. Let me find this. There's like a flashing bit I'm looking for here. Yeah, okay. It plays dead on the road, then possesses any human who approaches out of sympathy. That's what Ashino says. An oddity that takes over its host. It brings mate great misfortune. So it infects someone that approaches it out of sympathy, and then brings great misfortune to the person that approached it out of sympathy. And then, what does Araragi think of? Wait. Where is it? He thinks of Kiss Shot. Because he approached Kiss Shot out of sympathy, you know, not aware of her true form or whatever, the true meaning of her being a vampire, which he later became aware of in Kizu. He approached her out of sympathy and then has been brought great misfortune, as Oshino says. So, I mean, again, he's coping with the situation with Shinobu, and we see this expressed in Hanekawa, or Hanekawa's situation. It's just bars. Yes. Obsessive. Okay. And then 4th episode. Dude, this all the summarizing has got me so crazy that it's like it feels weird to even like think about watching an episode right now. But hey, we're gonna keep cracking through it. Shinobu stepping on Araragi. Okay. I need his monologue. Oh wait, what did he just say? I'd never feel sympathy for her? Okay, run that back. Play this? Wait, not even close to what? Give me full context for this conversation. Don't make me want to kill you. Is that your sympathy for the class rep? And man, could we even see his sympathy for the class rep as similar to his sympathy, like the sympathy that brings you great misfortune? Like, does his sympathy for the class rep function similarly to the interaction of the metal cat itself with the whole you approach it out of sympathy and then it kind of possesses you and brings you great misfortune? Because his sympathy for Hanekawa, I think you could argue, has led to his unhealthy martyrdom complex to die for her, his desire to die for her, which is bringing him great misfortune, right? Or at least misfortune to the people around him that he actually cares about. So, like, the metal cat itself is a microcosm, if I'm using that word correctly, is an example or an analogy for Araragi's relationship to Hanekawa, as well as his, and then also kind of parallels his relationship to Shinobu. How do we like that? Do we like that? I kind of like that. I see the word sympathy and it's like, okay, cut it all apart. We gotta read this hoe. Oh, man. I'd never feel sympathy for her. Coping? Oh yeah, and now a misfortunate girl simply turns me on. I mean, he's lying, right? Like, that's not the case, and yeah. He like uses his lust as a shield, as a barrier, to be fake, to like hide his convictions and his actions from each other, right? His actions of being lustful are hiding whatever conviction he has deep down that he's trying to achieve through the lustfulness, like inadvertently, right? And this is just an example of that. But like maybe deep down, like maybe it's kind of like there's an inversion too, where like he does have a conviction of lust in a lot of situations. Perhaps it'd be, and this I'm kind of making up, so, but maybe there's a thing here where it's like his lustful convictions, to deal with his lustful convictions, he does actions that aren't lustful, and then to deal with his normal convictions, he does actions that are lustful. So maybe there's like a cool inversion there. I don't have an example to back that up, but maybe there's something there. It'd just be a cool kind of thing. Coping. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. You're angry with me for lying to you. You're also relieved. Kind of too strong, that's why you get possessed by the oddity, right? You're so strong that you sold your soul to an oddity. I would even maybe say an oddity of your own creation, right? With the current weird way that I'm attempting to approach the metal cat. You're so righteous that you overwhelm others. Right, which is why she got slapped. And then this is where it gets super projection, right? Let's see. You're going to live like that for your whole life. You can't change that. Is Araragi correct? I don't think so, right? I think he's wrong. And he's projecting his own frustrations on being unable to change. Where, like, maybe he desires change because coming out of his thing with Kizu, with yeah, maybe it's like that, where like his willingness to die in Kizu, he's repeating again here in Nekomonogatari Kuro, which, you know, takes place like right after. And so since it's repeating, he's saying like, you can't change these things about you, as a projection of he can't change his desire to die for someone else, from Kiss Shot now to Hanekawa. Question mark? I mean, I'm just a big fan of, people can change, so maybe I'm biased towards that, towards him being wrong, but we'll see how they play with it. She's literally, are you even talking about me anymore? It's difficult for me too. This is crazy. I'm a human being too, she says in oddity form as Black Hanekawa. It's reflective of when Subaru. Whoa, this isn't a ReZero. When Araragi was claiming to be human as a vampire, right? So another little connection, which he is aware of because he's come out of that, so he immediately is able to undercut it. Blah blah. Yeah. He's dealt with that. We're just rewatching Nekomonogatari Kuro. We're not even watching the new one. That's so funny. Oh, man. Won't you feel any sympathy for me? Yeah. That's crazy. Though I think, could you say that he does feel that sympathy, which is why he wants to die for her? Like, maybe there's... man. Words, connotations, meaning... I'm flooded. That's a weird thing to say. Yeah, this line. Okay. You were raised in a cold family, but you still tried to be normal. Araragi? Is he projecting that? Does he think he was raised in a cold family, but he still tried to be normal? I think there's potential for that. And maybe it's like, and what's more, you actually succeeded. The word here of you, maybe it's like, you succeeded and I didn't. And what's more, of this situation to which we both relate, you actually succeeded in being a normal person while I did not. I think that's a potential reading. But who cares? It doesn't matter. Burn it all down. F it, we ball. I really like these lines, honestly. Oh, and this cut to Shinobu, even if bad things happen, just be happy. Yeah, I mean, projection 101, right? Kizu was all about him refusing to let Shinobu die, or Kishot die. Um, and this line of, even if bad things happen, just be happy. I mean, the bad thing happening of what drove Kishot to wanting to die, you know, all the stuff with, I forget the name, but her previous servant, right? Um, and then Araragi says, even if bad things happen like that to Shinobu, just be happy, don't die, right? Ah, yep. Crazy cut to Shinobu, man. And like bringing in this like, yeah, things will go back to normal. Like we're having this moment now, but I mean, we still got to wake up for school tomorrow. We still got a 9 to 5 to go to. And I mean, that's not literal, right? Because they're in the golden week, right? But it's kind of that point like you could have the worst, or this is not entirely true. But it's kind of relatable for like some like experiences I've had, and so hopefully that you get what I mean. When it's like you can be going through like a horrible like spot, but when you wake up in the morning, you're still gonna have your normal responsibilities, and odds are you're still gonna fulfill them, right? You can be depressed in high school, right? Be really suffering and like when you know whatever, but you're still gonna like it's kind of this idea of you'll still go to school as if nothing's happened, right? Like this weird like inevitability twist on it. Yeah, that line's just crazy to me. I like that line a lot. And you'll go back to your exact same life. All of this that we're doing right now, we're unable to change. It's just gonna go back to how it was. That's what he's saying. Yeah, I mean he's talking about his own parents, maybe even, right? You'll never reach an understanding with your parents. We don't even know his parents. There's probably a reason for that. And then this is just sad, right? No matter how happy you were once unhappy, and you'll dream about you being unhappy forever. That's just brutal. Man, I need to like look up the word sympathize and like figure out exactly what's going on there, but we'll see. Misfortune. Don't use misfortune as a platform for growth. Oh boy. Okay. Love the cut away from her being a cat too. There, right? Oddities don't exist. They're lies. Hang in there. I'll touch your boobs because we're friends. What an incredible friend zone technique. I couldn't even become that. Okay, let me do a little more skipping here. I just love him being the hilt of the sword still. I think that's still so cool. Hanekawa wouldn't be able to conquer her stress, and her family situation wouldn't improve. This kind of ending were settled, and Shino would have finished the job in the first battle. And then we go back to the what we were talking about earlier, right? How he's self-satisfying himself, but he's not doing an act of justice. His actions to save Hanekawa, but it's or bad wording. I was just reading it. His action to die for Hanekawa lined up with his desire to die for Hanekawa, but that was just self-satisfying, which while real can still be bad and evil or whatnot. Yeah. And then she just starts freaking. Hanekawa didn't pity me or look down on me. There weren't things to be pitied. Pity. Pity is such a crazy thing to throw at Araragi. I feel like that's kind of new to me. The concept of Araragi not wanting to be pitied. How much has he talked about that before? I don't know. I feel like he's talked about that before, but I can't think of any specific examples. Unlucky. Continue. Shinobu pops up. Drink my blood. Drain the cat. Easy clap. Here's that little scene of the cat where Araragi... Look how fast this goes by the way. Cat, buried, corpse. He looks at it, nods in understanding, reburies it, prays, gone. It's crazy, man. It's literally like, look at this. 12, 13, 14, on the screen from 14 to 16. 14, 15, 16. 3 seconds, the cat's corpse is on the screen, man. To prove that it's like a normal cat or whatever. Man, the details. The class rep's consciousness had been restored. Black Hanekawa was born. Terrible jokes. Saying thing just because she didn't ask for help doesn't mean she didn't want help. Just because he can't say that he loves her doesn't mean that he doesn't actually love her. But he doesn't love Hanekawa. He would never say it. But that doesn't really mean that he doesn't, Because he says he doesn't love Hanekawa, but he'll never in his life say that he loves her. So it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully you get what I mean. Because if not, I'm not explaining it more. Let me just finish out his little monologue here. Feelings I had for you will never change. You know what's crazy about that? He was talking about just earlier in the episode how all the bad things that happen will always be remembered in the past and those will never change, right? You'll always be haunted by like the horrible things that happened. But in this, he's saying all these feelings for you, I don't know about positive, but no matter what future awaits me, no matter what happens, just as much as the horrible past could haunt me and give me nightmares, the feelings I had for you will never change. And I'll always remember those. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of sweet. They will never cease to exist. They will always kind of stay there. In that way. Yeah, I like that. Aragi fell out of love for the first time even though he wasn't in love. What a great line. And then Sentogahara. I climbed those stairs. What's this little to be continued flash? What does that say? Oh, Tsubasa family. Cat. To be continued. Oh, man. Tsubasa Tiger Time. I've already gone over an hour in this hoe. It's been my recording says an hour and 9 minutes. That probably means like a little over an hour. I don't remember how long I was at the start. I don't even know what to say about that other than just admit that it happened. Admit that it happened, move on. Okay. I mean, just we ball, right? Let's just watch the episode. We'll see how long the mental holds out for. To drink, we are out of Dr. Pepper and out of water and out of every beverage. So that's good. Let's just watch the episode. Okay. Nekomonogatari Shiro, episode 1. Start of second season. Start of new arc. Good news, great news. We love to see it. Excited. We ball. Let's get it going in 3, 2, 1. Bang! Right here. My story is Hanekawa Tsubasa. That's all I've seen. Now is not one that I can tell. Okay? What is me? Who am I? A Roomba. Okay, identity crisis. Wow, okay. She's sleeping on the floor with a blanket? That despite Araragi's exaggerations about me being a saint. This is for you to know that I am a cat, a tiger, and a human. So that we all become disappointed in her. I love that. Story of how I'm a cat, tiger, and a human. Wow. That's crazy. OP time! OP time! Chocolate! Wait, it actually is. White and dark chocolate. Let's go. Or maybe milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. Oh, because she's a little chocolate. She's a little sweet. Oh, we got lyrics too. Nice. Okay. Oh, okay. She got the short hair too. So I'm thinking this is taking place after Nisei, right? We'll see, though. Okay, dude. The cat's out of the box, bro. Like excessively sweet chocolate. Man, I want a gang of cats to carry me around. Ooh, the dress, and she has like a cat tail. Kitty. Nighttime, it goes to nighttime when she becomes a cat. That's pretty good. It's bad for a princess to wait for a prince's kiss. Bars. Wow, okay, I'm here for it. Tsubasa Tiger Part 1. Man, from her perspective, this entire show's about to be completely different. Ooh, are they playing a guitar because she had the guitar in the OP the last time? That'd be crazy if that was intentional. Okay, focus up, focus up. Oh, I love this show so much. I love it. I love the idea of showing gratitude for every meal. I've been trying to do that recently. What's a day in the life, Hanekawa? What are you doing? Man, the train station flashing there gave me Hachikuji! You get to run into Hachikuji? Neon Genesis flashbacks was what I was about to say. Hachikuji interrupted me. What's up, Hachi? This is the duo I never thought I needed. Bars. No, you're right. I think. I love Hachikuji so much. She doesn't bite at all. Okay. She's probably heard from Araragi that Hachikuji bites people. Or something, right? What? Her backpack? Ah. I love you, Hachikuji. You're so sweet. Dragged against my will? Yeah. Look at all the red flags. There's literally red flags across the entire map. I wonder if that's supposed to represent what like a red flag. Yep. Always a possibility. Manage to escape. She's gonna let it slide, she says? Okay. Mayoi-chan. Man, Hachikuji you're so respectable when we're talking to you with Hanekawa. Instead of, look, she's not even mispronouncing it or anything. It's Hanekawa, not like Hanajo Waka Waka. My episode with him will be in the next title. Okay. Okay, thanks for that, Hachikuji. What are up with all these red flags? In a crossroads? Why are we in a crossroads? Uh-oh. Is that a tiger? It is a tiger. Crossroads, tiger. Why am I not running? It'd be safe if I can. Why am I not running? White lies of ignorance. This guy's scary. Oh. Oh. But I am white. White and crystal clear. Is that in reference to black Hanekawa? So like current she's like perfect white because she's perfectly like aligned in justice. But the stress of that is what makes her black, which makes her a very hard shade of black, which is black Hanekawa. What's up, Senjugahara? I think Senjugahara is the hardest person to like follow what they're saying. Yeah, a tiger. Where are we going? Look at all the bikes! All the bikes. It's not just one bike. Whenever it's been Araragi, it's been one bike. But for Hanekawa, she sees every bike. Crap. She actually sees the NPCs. Let's go. The terms opening ceremony. So new term. Laugh. That's okay. Yeah. Why do I feel like Hanekawa's getting looked at by everyone? Like she's not. I don't know. Feasting eyes. My goodness. Before we have the chance to. He does do that. He just saying people just help themselves on their own. Oh, wow, yeah. Like an unfair expectation. Oh, look at this light and dark paneling. Like the shadow on her. On Hanekawa. That's good stuff. Yeah, y'all got a class, don't you? Oh, thanks, Senjugahara. That's really sweet of her to allow. Or to offer, rather. There's all that stuff on the board. Oh, there's a fire. Oh, your house is on fire. I called that house my own. Good point. She said my house is on fire. That's crazy. She didn't expect to like feel attached to it. Wow, this is okay. A hotel? Oh, at Senjogahara's? No, don't be homeless. Oh, she's going to the cram school alone. Yeah, the abandoned school we all know. Fourth floor, the first classroom. Second, oh, they're all the yeah. There's holes in every room. Good. Wow, that root system is beautiful. They still got running water. Nice. Wait, I love this arc already. She's sleeping with newspapers. Then in the hallway at my house. Oh, that's why the Roomba bumped into her. You did, yeah. I went 7 to 9. Why is there a timer going? Aragi? It's Aragi. Please don't be a murderer. Who are you? Senjogahara? Is she upset that she didn't come for help? Yeah. That she was so that she didn't want to like Senjogahara was willing to let her come over, like for sure. Okay. Aww. It is terrifying to see Senjogahara like this. Aww. Wow. Yeah, Senjogahara's really her like emotions I feel like keep opening up more and more and more. You know, from the apathy in the beginning, it's just been like an ongoing process. Aw. Yeah. A mailing group. Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, they can bond over family issues. Yeah, alone in an abandoned school. It's not could it be Senjogahara did. Respect. Aw. Little kitty. It's something I did on my own. Funny use of meddling. What is up with the tiger? I have no idea what's going on with the tiger. I mean, crossroads. Those crossroads are gotta be huge. Yes! I will kidnap you. I will staple your neck. Even better. Sleepover. Ignore me yawning. Oh my goodness, we're chilling. Parents aren't home tonight? No, yeah, I was about to say. It's literally romantic. Lupin. She did kind of have a Lupin-looking face there. Lupin III, right? Hopefully I got that reference. Did I actually get a reference? That would be character development if I got a reference. I love her bedhead. Hanekawa's bedhead. Oh wow, she's imagining it all burning. The Roomba. What is your name? What is your home? Let's stay home from school today. Okay. Also interesting that she's taking clothes off while this is happening. The bedhead, yeah. That's fair. You know, it's interesting we're still getting a decent amount of, like, pervy-esque shots, right? I was expecting those to not really be happening in a Hanekawa story. I mean, they're not, like, super pervy, but, like, they're definitely, like, doing, you know, some zoom-ins and that kind of stuff. So that's interesting coming from, you know, Hanekawa. Like that booty shot right there, where like the booty was in my face for a second, you know? The fake cough. Oh, you're hilarious. Got the thermostat on the lamp to heat it up. 103 degrees. Is she plugging her nose? Okay, dude. What a great actor. Bigger lies are harder to catch. Okay. Don't offer to go together, please. Nah, I knew it. We knew that was coming. We knew that was coming. Do not shower with Senjugahara. I mean, do whatever you want. Who am I to... I sense a threatening atmosphere. I do as well. You're real? I'm not like Konburu. Senjugahara's character was changing. That's the blurb that popped up for a second there. Oh boy, I thought we were... Okay, I was not expecting to get crazy with it. It's also funny, her bedhead kind of looks like cat ears a little bit. Aw. Oh, Araragi, you're alive. Yeah, Araragi, what's up? It's so weird. I can't return home for a while. Oh boy, what are you doing, Araragi? Oh, sign of growth. Oh, less tunnel vision? Okay. Okay, girls' night out. Handle the tiger. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Maybe. But a hasty ex-runner, get it? That posed look on your face? Wait, posed look, that's freaking Kagenui, right? Or the, Ononoki. Wait, okay, 21 and a half minutes in. I'll have to jump to that. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh my goodness. What a conversation to have while you're both... Oh wow, the instant answer without hesitation. Okay, ED. A scope, a gun scope. What are we trying to shoot the tiger? Wait, why are the sisters here? That's Karen and Tsukihi, right? The egg. I wonder if they're gonna become part of the Tiger Extravaganza. Kept thinking of the battle plan. Yeah, it's like the cat's within her, right? That's like planning it out. We saw that with the last DD as well. Yeah, the control panel. The battle plan, the radar. Don't be jealous, I tell myself. Man, I love the art too. It's so good. Ooh, okay. So don't laugh. All the cats are in disarray, like throwing stuff at each other at this proclamation. Reaching for her heart. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. Post-credit? Karen and Tsukihi, what you got? About time. After you say it, Neko, or leave the spotlight to do the previews again. Okay, so maybe they aren't part of this arc very much. We'll see. Maybe they will be a little bit. You want us to be sent back to commentaries? No. What if we weren't together? Okay. We would have to disband. The cat tricked us. Meditating, but only a little. Okay. I forgot the part. There was a part that flashed, what, like 22, I think? That, like... oh, yeah, the posed look on your face makes the joke even worse. Posed look is an Ononoki thing. Is that foreshadowing? Is that, like, 7-layer deep, 6-layer deep, cheesy dip foreshadowing, you know? Yeah, a fantastic episode. I already... like... It made sense, dude. It made sense. That's honestly, like, all I have to... like, that's the most important thing to me. I feel like... there's so many times with this show that I'll watch an episode, I'll hit the end, and I'll just... and I feel like it just all went in one ear and out the other, and I have to, like, relearn the episode by, like, scrolling through it. But, like, this one just made a lot of sense. It felt just stable, but still had that Monogatari charm, you know? So that's just phenomenal. her living in the hallway really obviously sad and horrible. Especially because I think there were many rooms for her to live in, right? But now we know that she was exactly living in a hallway and got literally woken up by a Roomba bumping into her head. And this is a story about how she's a cat, a tiger, and a human, and how she's not a saint. And for us to be disappointed in her, I don't know if I could ever be disappointed in you, Hanekawa. Where's Araragi? What's Araragi doing? I don't know. This tiger introduction was scary. That was actually intimidating. But I am white. White and crystal clear. Because, like, presently she's white, right? Because she's doing the moral directive with perfect action and realism and consistency, right? But the stress and pressure of that, along with the stress and pressure with, like, Araragi and all that stuff, and with her family and all that stuff, is what results in Black Hana coming out to, like, let off all the steam and all that stuff, right? So, even if she's perfectly white, she still has, like, a well of darkness within her that, like, flips out and, like, jumps out, right? But I do think that's what the white is referring to here. But it doesn't really tell us much about this tiger. The crossroads is interesting. I mean, especially because we know that she's trying to figure out, or, like, you know, Senjugahara said, you're not going to college after this, right? Or after this term, or after this, you know, after the year. So there could kind of be a crossroads there. It could be the crossroads, you know, it's probably even better. Crossroads of her identity. She was saying at the beginning that, like, she had to figure out her own name, and then she said, like, oh, that's my house, and so that, like, that ownership to house, she, like, instinctively declared the house as her own, and now she's left to figure out, like, do I really consider that to be my house? Like, is part of who I am, or how do I word this? Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm writing an essay by trying to word this. Is part of who I am a person who lived in that house? I'll just say that, right? Like, how connected is the house to me and my identity? Maybe the tiger is meant to be, like, a shepherd for this crossroad of her identity by cutting out, by, like, burning away the house, which is, like, burning away, like, some sort of obstruction to her self-discovery or something. But that's, I mean, that's literally, as Senjugahara said, potentially jumping to conclusions. Tiger. I met a tiger. Really like the framing, too, in a lot of these. And then, yeah, like, it's interesting to me that, like, some of these shots were, like, kind of sexualized, right? Because I always thought that was, like, just because of us getting the Araragi worldview. Let me try to find one so I can prove my point. Like, Hachikuji puts her booty out, but that's kind of Hachikuji. I think that's more Hachikuji than it is Hanekawa's perspective. Why is my nose so itchy? Yeah, she says dragged against my will, and she's like putting her booty out. Hachikuji, can we calm down a slight bit? Her meta-wise skipping a chapter was funny. Because I was counting them, right? It was 6, 7, and then it jumped to 9. And then I don't know what the timer means, though. Senjugahara actually was terrifying, by the way. Seeing her, like, crying. It didn't even feel like Senjugahara, you know? Aww. It's kind of sweet. It didn't hurt at all. It's kind of sweet. It's incredibly sweet. That kind of gets me, you know, kind of, I don't know. Yeah, this line, in the first place, what is my home anyway? So yeah, I think what we're doing is Hanekawa is on a crossroads of self-identity, and the tiger is going to somehow play into that. Maybe the question of self-identity itself is why the tiger exists. Or the tiger is meant as, like, a shepherd for that in some manner, like a pushing of the envelope of the question of self-identity. And after, like, you know, now that we have Senjugahara and Hanekawa bonding and, like, becoming more intimate with each other, which I think is represented through them stripping down and showering together, for better or for worse, right? That's, like, I like, that's the point, right? That we see that they are getting more intimate with each other and, like, more comfortable with each other through the nudity, or through their progressively closer to nudity state. That was worded poorly, but I think you get what I mean. The immediate, yup, I still love him. I mean, this is just a crazy situation where Senjohara is dating Araragi, and then Senjohara is about to get in the shower with Hanekawa and asks, hey, do you love Araragi? And she says yes. So both of them love Araragi, but one of them is dating Araragi, and they're about to shower together? Oh, okay. Oh, man. No, I'm not going to watch her strip again. At least not on camera. The Opie and Edie were really good. I really liked them. I'm going to save analysis for them for next episode because this episode is already incredibly long and I am running out of mental energy rapidly. I will not lie. Hachikuji had a good line here, though. Let me make sure. To devote oneself to academics is another form of heavy labor. What do I feel like Hachikuji could, like, spit some bars about communism to me? And this is probably random, but, like, or just, you know, like, political or, like, economic philosophy. I feel like she just already has that all locked down. What a powerful grade schooler. Yeah. But yeah, I'll leave some... self-identity. That's some good thematic elements, man. I'm here for it. That's exciting. I'm gonna leave the OP and ED analysis for next episode. I'll try to remember to do both of those at the start. And, you know, with lyrics and all that, just so that we can like spread the length of the episodes a bit better. Because, you know, what, like, if I really wanted to, I could have this episode be like 2.5 hours long, and then next episode might just be like an hour long. Why not, you know, balance the scales a bit? Maybe have this one be, you know, hour and a half, the next one hour and a half, right? Get it nice and balanced, get it nice and clean. Or maybe I'm just coping so that I get to go to bed. But you know what? That's all right. Great episode. Really excited for this arc in the second season as a whole. A lot of people have been praising it as like the best, you know, the best part of Monogatari. Which, you know, is crazy to me because I've really enjoyed the show overall. You know, mostly just due to how unique it is and like its expression of how it tells the story is just fascinating. But yeah, really excited to see where this goes. That was episode 1 of Nekomonogatari Shiro. On to the next episode, episode 2 of Nekomonogatari Shiro. Going down the Tsubasa Tiger arc. Of course, if you made this far to the episode, I do appreciate it. Not that many people do. You know, 8%, 2%, I don't know. It doesn't matter because you're here and that's what really matters. Of course, also like the video. If you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, 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 comment down below if you have anything to say. Or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. And of course, notification bell or whatever. Click all the things you want to. But until then, until episode 2 of Nekomonogatari Shiro, that's all I really got for you tonight. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.